Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Gurudev Srila Gurudev, Jaya Gurudev Srila Gurudev, Jaya Gurudev Srila Gurudev, Gurudev Srila Gurudev. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhams Parivrajacharya Ashtodasa Srimad Shila Abhaya Charnavrind Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnavrind ki, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai, Nitai Go Premanande Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Today we are reading from Canto 3 of Srimad Bhagavatam entitled The Status Quo, Chapter 29, Explanation of Devotional Service. Today we'll be doing text number 8. So we'll all do Mangal Charan. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uthapada Kamalan Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sujivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vangsha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shri Vashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevayat Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Text 8. Abhisandhyaya yo himsam dambham matsaryameva va samrambi bhinna drigbhavam Mai kuryasatamasa Abhisandhyaya yo himsam Dambam matsaryameva va Samrambi bhinna drigbhavam Mai kuryat satamasai. Vaishnavas. Abhisandhyaya yo himsam Dambam matsaryam eva va Samrambhi bhinna drigbhavam Mai kuryat satamasa Abhisandhyaya yo himsam Dhammam matsaryameva va Samrambhi bhinna drigbhavam Mai kuryat satamasa Abhisandhyaya yo himsam Saryaeva va Samrambhi bhinna drigbhavam Mai kuryat satamasa Abhisandhyaya yo himsam Dambam matsaryameva va Samrambhi bhinna drigbhavam Mai kuryat satamasa. Word for word. Abhisandhyaya, having in view. Yaha, he who. Himsam, violence. Dambam, pride. Matsaryam, envy. Eva, indeed. Va, or. Samrambhi, angry. Bhinna, separate. Dhrik, whose vision. Bhavam, devotional service. Mai, to me. Kuryad, may do. Saha, he. Tamasa, in the mode of ignorance. Translation purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charnarvind Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Devotional service executed by a person who is envious, proud, violent and angry, and who is a separatist, is considered to be in the mode of darkness. Purport. It has already been stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st canto, 2nd chapter, that the highest, most glorious religion is the attainment of causeless, unmotivated devotional service. In pure devotional service, the only motive should be to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is not actually a motive. That is the pure condition of the living entity. in the conditioned stage, when one engages in devotional service, he should follow the instructions of the bona fide spiritual master in full surrender. The spiritual master is the manifested representation of the Supreme Lord, because he receives and presents the instruction of the Lord as they are by disciplic succession. It is described in Bhagavad Gita that the teachings therein should be received by the disciplic succession. Otherwise, there is adulteration. To act under the direction of a bona fide spiritual master with a motive to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead is pure devotional service. But if one has a motive for personal sense gratification, his devotional service is manifested differently. Such a many may be violent, proud, envious, and angry, and his interests are separate from the Lord's. One who approaches the Supreme Lord to render devotional service, but who is proud of his personality, envious of others, or vengeful, is in the mode of anger. He thinks that he is the best devotee. Devotional service executed in this way is not pure. It is mixed and it is of the lowest grade, tamasa. Srila Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur advises that a Vaishnava who is not of good character should be avoided. A Vaishnava is one who has taken the Supreme Personality of Godhead as the ultimate goal of life. But if one is not pure and still has motives, then he is not a Vaishnava of the first order of good character. One may offer his respects to such a Vaishnava because he has accepted the Supreme Lord as the ultimate goal of life. But one should not keep company with a Vaishnava who is in the mode of ignorance. Jai. So here Kapila Muni is now going to describe how the various parts of devotional service are drawn out. And these parts are drawn out based on the quality of the devotee. Right? So the first thing we have to understand that the way we take to devotional service to Krishna is depending on what we like. Right? This is natural. Now, of course, this can also cause a problem. The fact that we like something can cause a problem. But generally, what we like is what we get attached to in devotional service. So this is variegatedness. Right? There has to be variegatedness because there are so many individuals. Just sitting in this room, there are so many individuals. And so that means there are so many qualities and therefore there are so many views. Now, of course, the question comes, whose view is correct? Right? Typically, in the material world, we try to figure out whose view is correct. Right? Why? Because that decision decides who wins. Who is right wins. Right? But in spiritual life, we don't really look at who is correct. We like to see who is intense in their devotional service. We're not looking for righteousness. What if one of you decides that I'm going to make incense sticks? I'm going to sell incense sticks. And by selling incense sticks, I'm going to make devotees. All right, now one may say, well, Srila Prabhupada didn't ask you to sell incense sticks. So, there is all of this. But then when you generally see, well, Srila Prabhupada didn't ask you to work in an IT office. Right? So, there are counterpoints to everything. Now, if the fellow wants to do some business, make incense sticks, and then through that service, he's gaining something, and then he's trying to apply his devotional service, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, one may say, but instead you should do this and this. No, then whenever you use the word instead, generally we are trying to say what we like. Right? Remember, this is the general mood all of us have, right? We like to renounce for others. Right? So it's winters. Okay, somebody is eating ice cream. What do we say? Oh, don't eat ice cream. We are renouncing for them. They are eating the ice cream. But we are renouncing. Hey, don't eat ice cream. Okay? So the renunciation is coming from us for something that is not in our possession. Are you understanding? So our mood is like that. And so in the same vein, when we see somebody do something, typically we'll try to guide them to something we like. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that view. But if that other person does not take that position, there is nothing wrong with that person either. Are you understanding? So both people can be right at the same time. This is very hard to deal with in the material world. In this manifestation, we cannot deal with the fact that you're right and I'm right and we are doing two different things. How is that possible? How is that possible that you're right and I'm right? It's possible. In the spiritual world, it's possible. Right? So this is quite amazing. Now, in spiritual world, you will see there are devotees in Vaikuntha. They will do anything for Krishna. They speak very properly with Krishna. They deal nicely with Krishna. Then there are devotees in Ayodhya. They deal a little differently with Krishna. Then there are people of Vrindavan, of Jagannath Puri, of Dwaraka, of Mathura. Then there are ones in Vrindavan and they are thrashing Krishna. Now one may stand and say, who's right? Is Jaya Vijaya right? Is Madhu Mangal right? Who's right? Both are correct. You see, for us to be able to deal, we have to first deal with variety. Okay, so this is the first thing. We have to deal with variety. And first we have to accept that there is variety in Krishna consciousness. Why? Every single day Radha Gopinath wears a different dress. What was he wearing yesterday? Should be a very easy answer. It's Ekadashi. So, very easy answer. Right? Before that, day before yesterday, reddish dress. Like, maroonish, reddish, whatever term you want to call. Before that, he was wearing, what do you call his, what's that? Purple dhoti. Right? So, today he's wearing yellow. So, you remember these. It's variegated. You're remembering, that day Krishna wore this, that. When you're seeing, you're like, okay, that day he wore this, that day, or today he's wearing it like this, today he's wearing it like that. This is variety. And this variety matters. You need to, instead of remembering what came in YouTube, remember this. Remember this. Because then you can attach, you can say, okay, last time it was, the frill was like this, today the frill is like this. Okay, something's going on. Variety. So if Krishna has variety, his devotees have even more variety. Remember, Krishna's devotees are one of his differentiating qualities. 64 qualities. Vishnu, Narayana, Mahanarayana has 60. Krishna has 4 more. One of them are the devotees. You are one of the qualities of Krishna that distinguish him from other incarnations. Oh, wow. So there is variegatedness. Otherwise, if you're all the same, then where's the distinguishing factor? Where is that difference? Where is when Narad Muni runs around running around saying, Krishna has headache, somebody give me the dust from their feet. What are the Brahmanas saying? We will go to hell. If we do such a deed, Gopis are saying, take. If we go to hell, so what? Krishna's headache is fine or not? You see, variety matters. If you read Srila Prabhupada's Leelamrita, there's a very beautiful and Bhakti Charu Maharaj in his book Ocean of Mercy, he expounds a little bit on this Leela. When Srila Prabhupada says, I want to do Govardhan Parikrama. So now we have 2 camps that arise. That is, Lokanath Swami Maharaj and some other devotees are like, yes, order of a guru must be followed. So they set up he gets his bull cart because he was doing Padayatra. Lokanath Maharaj doing Padayatra. So, he sets up his bullock cart, he's got hay there and, he's ready. And then on the other side, we have Bhakti Charu Maharaj, Bhavananda Prabhu, and they're all saying, what are we doing? Srila Prabhupada, this will kill you. And there is this massive, 2-day affair that is going on where, these devotees are thinking that Srila Prabhupada is going to die. These devotees are thinking, well, it's the order of Guru, and they're clash in Vrindavan while their Guru Maharaj is about to pass away. Yes? Who's right? Who's right? Right? So this is this emotion. And then Srila Prabhupada is telling the, Kaviraj, see the love they have for me. This is how Srila Prabhupada is seeing it. We are seeing as what? Oh, there is a clash. Ooh, get Twitter up. I am hashtag don't go. I'm hashtag go. So we are in that. We are trying to figure out who's right. Srila Prabhupada is sitting and look at the love they have for me. Right? He doesn't go in the end. That's okay. But this, if you can appreciate this, now you understand variegatedness. So first, there is variegatedness. Okay? So this principle is accepted. But now you have to discriminate. Okay, one, there is variegatedness. When we accept variegatedness, then the question comes of discrimination. So in this chapter, Lord Kapila is going to tell us how to discriminate. Right? We were doing in Bhagavad Gita, right? Krishna tells in 18th chapter, knowledge which shows equalness is mode of goodness. Knowledge which shows discrimination is in mode of passion. And Kapila Muni is teaching us mode of passion. Isn't it? It's discriminating, right? Isn't it discrimination? Isn't that mode of passion? So what does this tell you? We have to deal in all the modes. Everyone slept in this room. I mean, hopefully. Sometimes you may stay awake also. But generally, everyone slept. So, if you have slept, you have gone through mode of ignorance. So you can use the modes to your favor. To your favor. So here, the idea is to use the modes in your favor. There's nothing wrong with mode of passion. What is Krishna telling Arjuna? Rise, O warrior, fight. Krishna is instilling passion in Arjuna. Is it? Is that what's going on? Yes, because if you use it favorably, it works for you. It works in the right way for you. Similarly, ignorance also works favorably for you if you do it in the right way. Right? So here, discrimination is being taught. So first we accept the equalness, which is the variegatedness. So we discussed about equal, right? Everything's all good, all variegated, you're all, devotees. Yes, tick. Now discriminate. So this is the first part of, and this chapter will talk a bit about discrimination, but not a bit, I'm just saying the next few shlokas are all going to talk about discrimination, right? So this is the first level of discrimination. So first is abhisandhyaya, discriminate, have a view. Right? And now these things are very hard. We're like, but Prabhu, a second ago you said variegated, and now you're telling discriminate. Too much. That's why I don't want to be devotee. But this is what we have to deal with. We have to deal with this. Just like you may have kids and you may say, well, I like all the kids. But then you discriminate. That kid is small. That kid is big. So you're doing both at the same time. You can't do that. You know that? We are able to do these things. We are able to take on all of these philosophies and apply them at the same time. We have that ability. And as one's devotion becomes pure, one can apply more of this philosophy at the same time. Right now, we can only apply one part of this philosophy at one time. Right now. At our current stage, I can apply this, or I'm going to apply that. No, you have to apply all of this. Right? This is Vedanta, means this is now the conclusion. What does that mean? All of it. You say, what is Vedanta? All of it. Right? Not a little bit here and a little bit, no. All of it. That is why when we say, Vedescha sarver aham eva vedyo, that line has to be taken very seriously. Extremely seriously when Krishna says that only I am to be understood by the Vedas. Right? That means all Vedic knowledge is pointing to Krishna. All of it. Right? So this is first understand. Anyway, now come back here. So you can apply both things. You can apply the equality and discrimination at the same time. So now here, first, abhisandhyaya, have a view. Discriminate. Have a view, please. Okay? Abhisandhyaya yohim sam. So first he is saying, if you see somebody who's violent, now you may be thinking, devotees are not violent. No meat eating. First one we gave up. We are not violent. No, we are very violent. All of us are extremely violent. In Ishopanishad, Srila Prabhupada defines Atma Hanta, killer of the soul, whoever he may be. Such beautiful line, right? Poetic. Srila Prabhupada writes in Vedic poetry, right? Killer of the soul, whoever he may be, must go down into the deepest, darkest. Anyway, we're not worried about the rest of it, but we are focusing on that. Killer of the soul. So what is the killer of the soul? It is one who is going away from Krishna, whose activities are taking him away from Krishna. That is violence. That is violence. Is this activity bringing me close to Krishna, or is it taking me away from Krishna? And if you can recognize an activity is taking us away from Krishna, that is violence. So, abhi sandhyaya yo himsam. You have to first recognize, is somebody violent? Is somebody violent? If they are, it's a problem. It's a problem. So, not critiquing. First, we are not critiquing, but we are observing. Again, I'll take myself as an example. So, you don't need to think of others. You can think of myself, right? Oh, now I have 3 kids, right? Is that bringing me closer to Krishna or taking me away from Krishna? If it's taking me away, that's violence. Are you understanding what is violence? What are we discussing here? If the activity or if the situation is taking you away from Krishna, that's violence. Are you understanding? If it's keeping you with Krishna, that's good. Right now, we may be thinking, but I'm not happy. Okay, yes, fair. You're not happy. Okay, so what? So what? Half the time the gopis in Vrindavan are crying. What half? More than half the time. Most of the times they cry. They see Krishna, they cry. They don't see Krishna, they cry. It's just always crying. If you read, when you read, they're just crying and crying. So I'm not happy. Okay. That is our happiness. The fact that we are with Krishna, that is happiness. We are thinking of the physicals. I'm stressed, but that's physicals. Physicals are not what we are discussing here, right? So first, when an activity is taking you away from Krishna, that is himsa. You are understanding? An activity that takes us away. So you can observe, and remember, we analyze, we don't demonize. Yeah, we are, Devamrit Swami Maharaj uses that such a nice term. You are in the bhakti laboratory. It's such a nice term, right? What a nice term. Bhakti laboratory. You have your white coats on, and you are analyzing. You're not demonizing. Analyzing, right? In a laboratory, they deal with the, COVID virus. They're dealing with the COVID virus. They are, mutating. They're dealing with the virus. Yes? This is their day job. Right? We are, one virus came out, we were, whole year, year and a half, we were locked up. This is their day job. This is what they do. Deal with it. So we don't demonize it. We are dealing with it, right? So here, when you observe things, you may understand, is this himsa or is this not himsa? So therefore, whatever activity we are doing, if we are watching YouTube, is it taking me nearer to Krishna? Is it taking me away from Krishna? We are playing sports. Is this taking me nearer to Krishna? Is this taking me away from? And then with that, balancing. When you now everything is on phone, but before when you used to have stereos, you used to have the equalizers. You could see the equalizer bars going up and down. So that we are observing that something is high, something is low. We are watching those equalizer bars, right? When you are observing that, you have to see, okay, in totality, is this himsa? Right? So the first part is, if somebody is violent, abhi sandhyaya yo himsam. Now, one may consider all of this and say, well, Prabhu, I don't have the intelligence. That is correct. Even I don't have the intelligence. I'm speaking and I don't have the intelligence to figure this out. But Krishna is explaining that sometimes somebody may be working in a particular way. And those with intelligence can see it. So Maharajas can see this. We cannot. That's okay. We don't have the intelligence, that's fine. But here remember, Kapila Muni is talking to Devahuti. He's talking to an intelligent person. He'll tell his mother also this. You're extremely intelligent, you're a devotee, you understand all this. So he's talking to an intelligent person, right? We should not drag philosophy down to our level. We should observe the philosophy at the level it is at. Yes? Abhi sandhyaya yo himsam dambam matsaryamevava. So now, somebody who has dambam, pride, matsaryam, envy, right? Now, looking around the room, looking in the mirror. Problem. Like when you look around, you're thinking in the mirror, you're like, do I have pride? A lot. A lot. It is our pride and envy, O Arjuna. Irsha dvesha samuttvena dvanda mohena bharata. What a beautiful line, right? What a beautiful line. Irsha and Dvesha. Right? Samutvena, Dvanda Mohena. These are the two things, O Arjuna, that will bind you to this material world. First two things. Dambam, Matsaryam. Pride and envy. Right? Samrambhi bin Nadrig Bhavam. Now, one is you have pride and envy, but you are able to deal with devotees. The bigger problem is when you become bhinna. Bhinna means now you are separate. So there is a book called Vaishnava K. I like that book a lot. I'm talking personally. The reason I like that book is that the poem is written by Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj in Vaishnava K. The poem. The translation of that poem is written by Srila Prabhupada. Okay? And the purport of that poem is written by my Guru Maharaj. So I'm like, oh wow, you get the parampara in one line. Right? Nice, right? It's nice, right? Your great-grandfather has written the poem. The translation is with your grandfather. And the purport is with your father. So it's nice. It's when you read. So I'm just saying, I'm talking personally, not for everyone. I'm talking personally. I'm saying I like that book. It's a nice book, right? So in that, this shloka comes up a lot. This shloka comes up a lot. Right? Abhisandhyaya yo himsam dambam matsaryam eva va samrambi bhinna. And there are close to, I think, 4 or 5 purports where this shloka is described. This separatist idea. Idea of separatist is described. Right? And now why is this focused on? This separatist idea. Right? We will see before Srila Prabhupada, recently we celebrated the incorporation of ISKCON as an organization. Just, I think, few weeks back, or a few days back. Yeah. So the incorporation of ISKCON, right? So I was reading these beautiful articles written by Giriraj Maharaj. I was just reading all of that. Very nice. So just, Srila Prabhupada established ISKCON in 1966. Most of the things Srila Prabhupada did was in 11s, huh? 66, 22, like you'll notice 22 he meets Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj. So 77 he passes away. It's always in the multiples of 11. Very interesting. It's good to remember these days, right? It's in your mind. So anyway, 66 he establishes ISKCON, right? Now he establishes ISKCON with a bunch of hippies who sign a piece of paper. Most of them are not there. So that's the first point. Most of them are not there. I think... I may be wrong, but I think Mukunda Goswami did sign the paper as well. I may be wrong now. I'll have to check, but I think Mukunda Goswami also did end up signing there. So he is still there. So I shouldn't say all are not there. Most are not there, but some have steadied the ship. Mukunda Goswami stays in New Govardhan, right? Yeah, in New Govardhan he stays there. So anyway, they signed the paper. So they incorporated. 1966, this organization has incorporated, right? Now, just before Srila Prabhupada incorporated ISKCON, there was another organization running, Gaudiya Math. Gaudiya Math had Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj. I don't remember the exact amount, but I do believe he had roughly 60,000 disciples. Like big number. Huge, like sizable number. Right? And I think in maths, I think he had 108 maths or a bit more. Like he had lots of maths, like loads, like loaded maths. Then what happens when Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj passed away? We see that Gaudiya Math lost its prowess, its strength. Why? Samrambi bhinnadrik bhavam. And Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj told Srila Prabhupada this when they were in Radha Kund. Right? When they were in Radha Kund, he tells Srila Prabhupada this, that there is fire burning in the marbles. You see marble, the temple is made of marble. He's saying there's fire burning in the marble. Why? Because everybody is already in the bhinna. They are already in the separatist mood. This is my mat. This is your mat. That is your mat. Okay? Let's be very careful. And you may start noticing that a little bit. Right? When we discuss with others, my temple, your temple. A little bit, not a lot, but a little bit. Oh, in our temple we do like this. Little bit. Bhinna, this bhinna, this concept of bhinna. You have to be careful about these things. You have to be very careful about this, right? But anyway, let's come back here. We'll first talk the top and then we'll talk about the subtle, about how we do bhinna, right? But first in the gross. So you'll see that, okay, Gaudiya Math, it lost its prowess because they all started separating out. And each math has its own name. Right? Each mutt has its own name. It's not just called the Gaudiya Mutt. Like we have International Society of Krishna Consciousness. Not, Prabhu's International Society, your International Society, no. International Society of Krishna Consciousness. Full stop. Right? So, this is staying together. Right? Now in the mutt, because the separatism happened, right? Srila Prabhupada writes many letters and he tells many times that let us all come together. Srila Prabhupada writes a letter, if Gaudiya Mutt can support me, okay? First he asks monetary support, no response. Then he asks for a few mirdangas and kartals. You can't send kartals? Mirdanga and kartals. No? They won't send mirdanga kartals. They say, first, you please acknowledge, this mutt is... What's going on? So finally Srila Prabhupada caved in. He says, forget this. He established International Society of Krishna Consciousness. So first you have to understand, it's not like Srila Prabhupada didn't try to work together. He wanted to. Okay, it's not working. So now you establish. Now, established in 1966, we are running in 2023. Right? Many years have passed by. Right? And many problems have occurred. Many years have passed by, and more than the number of years, 10 times of that problems have occurred, or 100 times of that problems have occurred. But somehow or the other, when the rally cry is given, everybody assembles here in front of Srila Prabhupada. Yes. Right? When there's a rally cry, guys, we are in trouble. Everyone assembles, folded hands. Yes, what can we do? Why? This is how you deal with the Samstapakacharya. You should have deep non-separatist connection with the Acharya. Non-separatist connection. Right? We, little bit questioning. Many times you may be thinking, no, what I'll do, Prabhu, is I'll form my own little group. Okay? And with my group, I'll do my own thing. Because I know it can succeed. And the answer is, yes, it can. I do want to make this point. But it will not last. It will not last the test of time. Right? There is only one personality who has been established for these 10,000 years as Jagat Guru. Now, many will spike up. Okay, suddenly you may see one guru. Let's say, nowadays in India there are so many gurus coming up and there are lot of YouTube channels happening. Oh, this guru is spiking up. Yes, they will spike up. I was in Vrindavan, I saw International Society of Love Consciousness. Prem Mandir. Wow. I was like, yeah. Love consciousness. Not Krishna, eh? Not Krishna. Love. Really? Not the one you have to love. No, that's not the consciousness. Where are you coming from? Where is this coming from? But anyway, the point is, okay, you will see there'll be great spikes and it will all dwindle down. To stand the test of time, right? For that you have to be somebody special. Just for that, you have to be somebody special. And you may be thinking, but such a small temple, no place to park the car. Yeah, yes, correct. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But this will stand the test of time. You see that. So, we should not try to become bhinna at least at the level of samstapaka. Samstapaka means at the founder acharya level, we should be strong. Right? Now, does that mean I only love Prabhupada? I hate him. I definitely don't like him. And you, my God, you better not come in front of me. No, no. We are with the founder acharya, so we are with the devotees. Are you getting that how it works? So now our mood, if we were to go to some other temple, right, and you may have gone to many temples and you may be thinking, standard here is a little different to my temple. And mind, nobody says in the mouth. Nobody will say it in the mouth, right? Mind thinks so many things. Right? One time I remember I was sitting, in Vrindavan, and I was having prasad. Right? So, Govindas. This was it wasn't Govindas? Yes. It was in Govindas. I don't know if it was Govindas or MVT. I don't remember now, but I think it was Govindas. We were sitting there. It was Govindas. At that time, Govindas was in the upstairs. So I was getting confused between MVT and Govindas. No, it is Govindas. It was Govindas at the upstairs. So I was sitting there eating prasadam. Couple of devotees came and sat with me, right? From our temple. Right? So we're sitting, and then we just start talking. So nice, here in Vrindavan, temple is, so nice. The service is running, and the person speaking. And then the person started saying, "Oh, there is that temple in Australia. Oh yeah, sometimes they miss offerings and all." So the person started speaking. And I'm sitting. I'm thinking, okay, what's the value of speaking about that? You are here in Vrindavan. Enjoy this. You are here. Enjoy this. Why the bhinna? You are now here, enjoy this. Now you are here in Sydney, enjoy this. Why we have to go somewhere else and think, oh no, actually, you are not doing it right. What is with that attitude? I'm talking subtle now. We've come up from gross. So gross we talked about from an institutionalization, we should make sure we are together. From an institutional perspective, be together, right? Now we're talking at the subtle level. At the subtle level, what is with the bhinna? And every one of us does this. I do this. But I have to check myself from bringing it out in words and actions. Okay, mind is very hard to control. I get it. My mind is, wow, my mind is a racehorse. Right? You put it in the gallop field, you can bet on it. It'll win every single time. Right? It's like sure shot winner. Right? The racehorse. So the mind is like that. But at the most subtle level, when you are observing, you may observe differences. You can discriminate. Nobody is denying the discrimination. Oh, I think, this is not happening like this. Oh, this is not working like this. That's okay. That discrimination is okay. Sometimes you may go to other temples which are not ISKCON at all. Right? And you may have that discrimination. But that doesn't mean you immediately start, this is wrong. This. It should not come to words and definitely should not come to action. Like at least, let's control the vacha and let's control the karma, like the activity. At least this much you can control. Mind may be hard. But even with the mind, you have to continuously fight. This is otherwise, how else will you fight with your mind? You'll open YouTube. So you have to fight with the mind, right? So if you're not ready to fight at this level, this is too much. This is too much. This devotional service is too much. No, this is the thing. If you're not willing to fight with the mind, Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj, every day you wake up in the morning, you take your slipper out and you bang your head 100 times. Right? I remember once when devotee was saying, so another devotee said, Prabhu, call me anytime, I'm ready to do it. God, I love it. You got to love devotee banter. Right? So the point here is that the reason Bhakti is saying you have to fight with your mind. Right? This is our fight. Right? We are not great warriors like Arjuna standing in the battlefield with our Gandhivas. Like, come! Where is the Chakravyuh? That's not us. Okay, so what is our fight? Our fight is with the mind. Right? So these are the things we need to find is this bhinna dhrik bhavam. This desire that I want to be separate. Right? At the subtle level, we have to be careful. Instead, what we should do is if we are traveling and we are in a place, we appreciate that place. Okay, now you may distinguish, okay, well, this is like this or this is like that. That's okay. You may even take in some good ideas and then bring it to where you are. You see, all of the... Srila Prabhupada is taking his disciples all over India and then what is he telling them? Let's go to Golden Temple. Why? In Golden Temple, you will learn how to do prasadam distribution. Now, you may say, well, it's a... So like Guru Gobind, he's Lord Ram Bhakta. Right, so he's in Ayodhya. He's sitting in Ayodhya. But I think his followers, at some point, they have become Brahmavads. In this journey, they have become Brahmavads. So why, how, I don't know. So one may say, well, why is Srila Prabhupada taking the disciples to a Brahmavad temple? Right? Yeah, and it's a fair statement. Right? Well, to learn. That's why. To learn. And you should learn. So this idea is there. So one should not look at it from being bhinna dhrik bhava. Because this idea causes problems. Okay? Then mai kuryat sa tamasa. Why? Because all of these activities are actually in the mode of ignorance. Now one may say, oh, so am I a devotee in mode of ignorance? No, your devotional service is in the mode of ignorance. Are you getting? So one may do bhakti in the mode of ignorance. It is possible. Very much possible. Very much a fact. This is a very viable state. That I am doing devotional, sir. I am, mopping the temple floor. right? And we may decide, you may be seeing 4 or 5 people mopping the temple floor, and you may be thinking, is it more of goodness? Is it more of passion? Is it more of ignorance? What determines that? Samrambi bhinna drig bhavam. Am I in a separatist mood? Right? If I have this bhinna drig bhavam, it is in the mode of ignorance. If I have a mood in which I am, I am here, I'm doing my service, that's what it is. Okay, great. Recently they were having some Rath Yatra for kids. So then in the Rath Yatra for kids, the kids were, brooming the floor. Kids were brooming the floor. Now you may suddenly think, but I want to broom the floor. No, drig bhavam. Don't become drig bhavam. Okay, this is kids Rath Yatra. The kids will broom here, right? Where there is the adult one, you go there. You're the adult. Are you understanding? But typically you'll end up noticing that everything gets mixed. So then there is always a problem. It's very hard to manage. Because see, in management you will try to say, okay, in this place, this is the mood. Okay, this is for the kids. So this is the mood here. That's for the adults. That's the mood here. But now you will see, if all the moods get mixed, it becomes a problem. It's hard to manage. Right? Now you may say, oh, what type of management? Why are you doing this? It should all be one. Mode of goodness. Remember what we said? Mode of goodness. In mode of goodness, you see everything as one. True. But right now we are doing an activity. We have to do it in mode of passion. So it has to be discriminated. Right? So this application will help us a lot. So we'll end here. It's 8:45. Devotees want to share something? No? Okay. Granth-raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Go Premanande. Hari Hari Bo. Srila Prabhupada. Namaste Krishna Pr.
વિસ્તરમ દર્શનીયતમં શાંતમ મનોનયન વર્ધનમ કાંચી ગુણોલ સક્ષોનિમ કાંચી ગુણોલ સક્ષોનિમ